So I loved my father dearly. In October of 2005, he went into the hospital, never to come out. And for about 6 weeks, he went back and forth from different care facilities as they tried to deal with his various ailments that kept complicating and preventing the care of each other. Traumatic brain injury, normal pressure hydrocephalus, seizures, pneumonia, E. coli, that was from the hospital, blood clot, and depression. And we didn't know what to do, and the doctors didn't know what to do, which was sort of scary. During those 6 weeks, I was a graduate school recruiter who had to travel all over the country and into Canada to do my job. But I was also my father's power of attorney and healthcare proxy because my parents' marriage had just collapsed. So I'd go to and from Pittsburgh, where he was, and New York, where I was based, and all over the country to various colleges and into Canada, but I'd always come back to Pittsburgh to sort of check in on him and his various states of consciousness. So by the time he died, which is to say by the time I, as power of attorney and healthcare proxy, authorized the doctors to turn off the life support, it was like this pressure in my head, which actually had, I think, kept me going, released. And I quite embarrassingly became a giddy first grader, and everything made me laugh. So I loved my father dearly, but the morning that he died, all I could do was giggle. Now, my father was complicated. I think in a way, a lot of people we've heard about tonight are complicated, and if you just get to know anyone well enough, you might find them to be complicated. My father, for every 10 people that tell me he changed their lives or saved their life or made them the man that they were, there was that person who was very eager to tell me he had ruined their life, ruined their marriage, or ruined their bank account. And I knew this before he was sick. I knew this while he was sick, and it has certainly been driven home several times in the years that he's been gone. But I loved my father dearly. And did he do more good than bad? I think so. But did he do bad? Definitely. The kind of bad that meant we really didn't have a funeral because we didn't really know who was going to show up. But the morning that he died, I was giggling. I mean, everything was funny to me. And my brother, who had missed most of my father's illness because he lived on the West Coast, had come in, thankfully, at the last minute to be there at the end. But he started his mourning process the day that my father died, and I was 6 weeks ahead of him because I had been mourning the entire time that I was running from hospital to college campus to hotel to airport back to hospital. I knew where this was going, and so I'd been mourning a lot longer than my brother had, so every time I laughed, it really pissed him off. And I understand. I mean, it should have. So later that afternoon, on the day that my father died, my brother's lying on the sofa, and I'm lying on the floor because I'm younger. And we're watching TV, and I announce, I think I inherited Dad's gout. And I chuckled to myself because everything was funny. But I had this intense searing pain in both of my big toes. And it was the pain that my father complained about my entire childhood. I knew that pain. That was gout. And so I said, I think I inherited Dad's gout. And my brother said, I don't think it works that way. And so what I learned later, weeks later, was that in fact I had not inherited my father's gout, because that's in fact not how it works. My brother was pissed off and right. I had broken my two big toes. And we couldn't really figure out when or how, but apparently it had something to do with the fact that I wore cheap, high-heeled black boots every day of the prior 6 weeks as I ran from hospital to airport to hotel to hospital, because that was the easiest way to pack. But what I didn't know was really cheap high-heeled black boots put an awful lot of stress on your 2 big toes, and they broke. So what I learned was love can hurt, as we've heard tonight, but love can also be a really powerful analgesic, because every step I took in every hospital that fall should have landed me in searing pain. But I didn't feel any of it until after my father was gone. Thank you.
Thank you.